President Biden has officially tested negative for COVID, and he got his doctor's approval to come out of isolation. Yes, which is great. It really is great. It's also the only positive approval he has at the moment, you know? But that's a start. That's a start. In economic news, the Federal Reserve has announced that it will be raising interest rates yet again to try and fight inflation. Yeah, so your ability to buy a house has gone from no chance to what part of no chance don't you understand? Oh, and in pandemic news, 2 new studies have concluded that COVID-19 almost certainly started at the Wuhan market. Yeah, and I'm so glad we have this information because, I mean, now it's clear what we have to do, right? We've got to build a time machine and go back in time 2 years and invest in Peloton because it's going to blow up when the pandemic hits. It's going to be huge. Make a lot of money. Seriously, what are we supposed to do with this information now? What are we going to do with that? It came from the Wuhan market. Well, I'm not buying my groceries there anymore. Cancel Instacart order. Oh, and finally, the jackpot for the Mega Millions lottery is now sitting at over $1 billion. Billion, which is like a week's worth of gas. And just by the way, can I just say how I love how people hate paying taxes, but if you think about it, a lottery is really just taxes, right? We all put our money into a thing, and then it goes to someone, and then everyone's like, yeah, this is fair. But then if you say to everyone, let's take that money and put $1 billion into schools, everyone's like, taxes are bullshit. Oh, I don't want to pay taxes. I don't. Then you're like, okay, let's all put our money in, and then one person gets it. Everyone's like, yeah, this is great. This is fantastic. This is a fair system. I don't know why we don't all do it. Oh, actually, there's another thing. The Justice Department is now actively investigating Donald Trump's involvement in the plot to overturn the election. Yeah, another investigation. And I don't know, guys, at this point, I feel like the Justice Department is just going to have to dedicate an entire division to Trump. You know, just give him his own one. You know, like they'll have National Security Division, the Civil Rights Division, and then the what the hell did Donald Trump do now division. Because, you know, it's going to be a high-stress environment. It's basically going to sound like a fast food joint during the dinner rush. You know, it's just like, we got 2 tax evasions. We got 3 witness tamperings. We got a serving of corruption. And don't forget the porn star on the side. Come on. We got crimes, people. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. But anyway, let's move on to some of the bigger news stories of the day. Starting with China. First name, made in. For decades now, the world has been worried about if or when China would choose to invade Taiwan. And the reason for this is that China has said that Taiwan is part of China. But they're out there in the streets acting like they're single. And because China knows that invading Taiwan could spark an international incident, they haven't done it, right? But since Russia invaded Ukraine and basically only got cancelled on Twitter, it's been reported that the Chinese government thinks that now might be the perfect time to strike. Yeah. It's the same way I saw my friend Brian telling his mom to go to hell. And I thought, wow, that's a cool idea. I'm going to go tell my mom off too. Yeah. That was the day I made the very painful discovery that my mom has a very different parenting style than Brian's mom. Very different. Anyway, Russia is basically Brian, right? And so China is preparing to take what they say is rightfully theirs. But it turns out if they want to get to Taiwan, they're going to need to go through Nancy Pelosi?
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's plan to visit Taiwan has created a stir in both Beijing and Washington.
Tensions are running high between the U.S. and China amid talks of a visit by U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi to Taiwan. U.S. officials are working to convince Pelosi of the diplomatic risks of her potential trip.
Beijing is furious over a potential trip by House Speaker Nancy Pelosi to Taiwan. China sees the self-ruled island as a breakaway province that must be reunified with the mainland. Beijing is against any move that appears to acknowledge Taiwan as an independent country or makes the U.S. relationship more formal. And just yesterday, China's Defense Department urged the U.S. to cancel Pelosi's visit. The department spokesperson said, quote, if the U.S. insists on taking its own course, the Chinese military will never sit idly by.
God damn. Oh, they make it sound like the Chinese military is just going to run over Nancy Pelosi with a tank, you know, completely destroy her. I mean, that would be good preparation for the midterms, but still, I don't know why she would go there. And I know what you're thinking right now. I know what you're thinking. You're like, why is Nancy Pelosi trying to provoke a war? Huh? Did she buy stock in bomb shelters last week? Hey, show some respect. Those other stock trades were just lucky guesses. No, the truth is Nancy Pelosi has been a big champion of Taiwanese independence for decades now. And so think. But this still is a big headache for Joe Biden. All right? Between inflation, Ukraine, gas prices, and the midterms, the man does not have time to get into a war with China. I mean, that's probably the reason COVID left him so quickly. The virus was like, my man, you're dealing with a bunch of shit right now. I'm a bounce, but I'll be back in a few weeks. I can do that now. You got to handle yourself. You know what Nancy's doing here? Because the administration is like, don't do it, Nancy. And Nancy's like, I'm going anyway. She's doing that classic thing where like drunk white women get into a fight on behalf of their men. You know that thing? Where they're just like, you know what? We're not gonna take this. My boyfriend's gonna kick your ass. And the boyfriend's like, no, Nancy, shut up, Nancy. Nancy, this is China. It's like, I don't care. Yeah, my boyfriend knows karate. It's like, God damn it, Nancy, just get in the car. Get in the car, Nancy. No one wants a world war. Oh, and speaking of a potential world war, we should definitely talk about the battle that's brewing over Instagram. You know, the best app to see which of your high school friends are involved in pyramid schemes. If you've been on Instagram lately, you may have noticed that it sucks, right? Everything is an ad, and your feed is full of people you don't follow, which is so confusing. Yeah, because I'm scrolling, and I start reading someone's post, and I'm like, do I know this person? Was I supposed to be at this wedding? And then you look and it says, because you follow your friend, we thought you might like a post from a stranger. No, I don't. Like, it's a cute dress. Anyway, everyone's been complaining about Instagram, right? Everyone's been complaining, but they haven't been forced to respond until now because the royal family of Instagram has stepped into the fray.
Instagram is defending itself after users started complaining about changes to the social media platform. It all started Monday when Kylie Jenner and Kim Kardashian posted messages on Instagram saying, make Instagram again. Stop trying to be TikTok. Users appeared to have agreed, slamming Instagram for pushing more video content rather than pictures. CEO Adam Mosseri responded on Twitter saying the changes are designed to improve the user experience.
I do believe that more and more of Instagram is going to become video over time. We see this even if we change nothing.
Mosseri said the changes will help people discover new content, but he said users can turn off recommendations for 1 month if they don't like what's in their feed.
Yeah, that's right, people. You thought Instagram was for pictures of your friends. Well, that's over. Yeah, you were always bitching about brunch pics. Now you're going to be begging to see them. You'll be like, please, was it eggs? Was it avocado toast? I just want to know what my friends were eating. Too bad. You ain't never going to see your friends again. And it really sucks, man. It sucks because we choose who to follow for a reason. Now they're just going to switch it on us? You can't do that. You know? Like the 12 disciples were followers of Jesus, right? They chose Jesus. Can you imagine if one day someone was just like, today's sermon will be delivered by Ja Rule? And be like, no, wait, I wanted to hear from Jesus. Like, no, trust us, this will be better. Take it away, Ja Rule. Thou shalt always be there when thou calls. Thou shalt always be on time. And gave you my laws. Even worse, it seems like Instagram wants to get into the algorithm game. And that's what I'm worried about, because it's going to change everything. Because you see, the thing is, algorithms, they're only about engagement, all right? They only feed you things that make you angry, make you sad, make you horny. And the problem with that is that it all happens within a few posts, so it's an emotional roller coaster. You know, it's just like, oh, I'm so mad about this random racist event, and I'm sad about all the poverty, and god damn, that ass is fine. That ass voted for Trump! Ah! Vladimir Putin has announced that he will unblock Ukraine's ports. And it is good news. But I trust Putin's deals as much as I would trust Elon Musk around my wife, so we'll see how that goes. Also, WWE founder Vince McMahon has been forced to retire after it came out that he may have paid up to $15 million to hush up sexual misconduct allegations over the last 20 years. Yeah, and you know something's over the line when pro wrestling catches it, because those refs never see anything, you know? In celebrity news, Drake is under fire for posting a picture of a random woman that he saw at a restaurant to his Instagram, saying that he tried to airdrop the picture to her so she could see how hot she looked. Yeah. And while it's not like the worst thing in the world, I think we can all agree it's a little creepy, you know? In fact, as punishment, Drake should have to ride the subway and then let all the creeps airdrop their dick pics to him, you know? And be like, ah, shit, why does it look like a cauliflower? And of course, the most exciting thing that happened over the weekend, we got the first trailer for Black Panther 2. Wakanda Forever. And I don't know if you saw it, but that trailer was amazing. And it was so black. What? Yo, black people were celebrating that trailer the same way white people celebrate when Trader Joe's drops a brand new frozen meal. They're like, pumpkin ravioli, what? All right, but let's get into the big news of the day, starting with the major announcement from the World Health Organization. And yes, you already know the news is going to be bad, because the World Health Organization, they never call us to say, hey guys, we just want to let you know the world is healthy, everything's fine. No, they only pop up to say shit like this.
With cases rapidly on the rise, this morning, the World Health Organization is sounding the alarm on monkeypox, declaring the virus a global health emergency. Across the country, the numbers are steadily rising. Less than 2 weeks ago, the CDC listed just over 1,400 confirmed cases nationwide. Now, that number has nearly doubled, with cases in all but 5 states. The nation's epicenter, New York, where nearly 900 people have been infected. The last time the World Health Organization made this designation was January of 2020 in response to COVID-19.
Why? Another global health emergency? No! We just got done with ignoring this pandemic. I don't know if I can handle another one. My heart can't take this. And also, why is New York the epicenter again? Huh? Haven't we been through enough? Hurricane Sandy, coronavirus, the Knicks. No, I'm joking. Sandy wasn't a complete disaster. Seriously, people. And what is it about New York? Why do diseases love it? You know, what is it about this place? Outside of like the rats and the cockroaches and the subways full of feces and piles of garbage on the sidewalk. Outside of all of that, why do diseases love New York? Now, the good news and the big difference between monkeypox and COVID is so far, monkeypox doesn't seem as dangerous so far. We still got to take it seriously. But for most people, it gives you some painful boils for like a few days and then it's gone. Yeah, and after COVID, I'm not going to lie, that doesn't faze me. Yeah, because it's like, is this going to kill 1 million people and shut down the planet? No? Well, then I'm taking these boils to the club, baby. Hey! Now, you may have noticed that online or somewhere else, people are saying that monkeypox is a gay disease. Please understand that that is not true. All right? Yes, gay men who are very sexually active are at higher risk of getting the disease because it's transmitted through touch, but it is not a gay disease, okay? Anyone can get it. So while we should make sure the gay communities get the support that they need, we also shouldn't stigmatize them and make it seem like monkeypox is their disease. The same way COVID wasn't a Chinese person's disease, the same way AIDS wasn't an African person's disease, all right? No matter where a disease starts, if you don't stomp it out, it could spread out to the larger population. That's how diseases work. You know, some disease might start in a frat house, but if you don't stop it, one day your granny could be on the phone with you like, I don't have much longer, sweetie. The doctors say I've got boy fever. It's really bad. So let's not blame any one group of people here for monkeypox. The ones we should be blaming are the monkeys. Yeah, don't forget, all these diseases come from monkeys. And it's not a mistake. They're trying to kill us. Yeah, because you see, remember, we used to roll with the monkeys. And then what did we do? We secretly went away. We got clothes and computers. And we left our monkey brothers behind. Yeah. Then they're like, all right, screw you guys. You said you were going to the shop to buy cigarettes, and now you build cities and shit, and you left us naked in the bushes eating bananas. We're going to show you. But even though it's an emergency, let's not get too stressed out. all right, about something that may or may not become a worldwide disaster. Because we've already got a worldwide disaster to focus on. It's called climate change. Yeah, it's the reason everyone was sweating so much this weekend. They managed to make weight for the big fight. But I'm an accountant. You made weight. Get in there, champ. Last week, we saw how the heat was affecting Europe, right? Temperatures were hitting record highs. Wildfires were in multiple countries. And now the US is experiencing the same thing.
Many cities are seeing record-breaking temperatures, meters hitting triple digits in areas throughout the Northeast, and that could be the case the rest of the week as well.
That's right. At least 4 cities set new marks, including Boston, Newark.
In California, the Oak Fire has burned at least 10 structures. These newlyweds coming back to their home to find it reduced to ash. Many wondering if they'll even have a home to come back to. Wildfires sending residents fleeing in the west. Emergency crews in Yosemite National Park working day and night from the ground and in the air, trying to contain the more than 15,000-acre Oak Fire.
This is the not-so-mighty Rio Grande near Albuquerque, New Mexico. High temps and extreme drought have caused water levels to drop to their lowest point in about 40 years. These new satellite images showing just how much water Lake Mead has lost to a massive drought. Its water levels are at their lowest point since 1937. That is just after the lake was created by the Hoover Dam.
Yeah, it looks like the world is on fire, and soon all of our drinking water will be gone. So joke's on you, Monkeypox. Yeah, you can't kill us if we're killing ourselves first, bitch. Humans, 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 humans. Yeah, we're all gonna die. But once again, we're being reminded, if humanity doesn't get our act together soon, Mother Nature's going to handle this problem herself. The thunderstorms are going to become more thundery. The droughts are going to be more droughty. Planet's going to be so hot, Drake is going to airdrop it a picture of itself. I mean, did you guys feel how hot it was this weekend? Did you feel it? Shit was no joke. My sweat was sweating. For a second, I thought my Uber made a mistake and dropped me off in hell. I said 14th Street! It was so hot. I was just walking into random stores, just like to steal their air conditioning. I'm not gonna lie. And when I say every store, I mean every store. Even stores I had zero business being inside. And the worst thing is, you know, when you do that, you have to act like you actually want to buy something, even when you don't. So, you guys, you don't do custom eye holes, yeah? Yeah? It's all just off the rack. Okay, yeah. And you said the crosses are not self-burning, but you can get an Easy Light version online? Okay, yeah. Well, you know what? I'm gonna come back. I'm just gonna go to Sephora because I need to get some of whatever they sell. And yeah, I'll be back. What was your name again? Wizard? Wizard? All right, thank you. No, I'll be back. Yeah, I'll be back. Yeah, I'll definitely come back. I did not go back. But again, let's not get too stressed about this disaster that could end human life on Earth, because we can still change it. And besides, we need to save some of our stress for another existential threat, the robot apocalypse.
And Russia, a supremely bad move at the Moscow Chess Open. A chess-playing robot apparently malfunctioned and broke its young opponent's finger.
We see the robot taking one of the boy's pieces, but when he makes a move quickly, the robot grabbed his finger hard enough to break it. Officials say the 7-year-old didn't wait long enough before that next move, but he was back playing the next day.
So that robot tried to kill that child, and everyone just went back the next day like nothing happened? Also, who is programming a chess robot with enough strength to break a human hand? This is chess, not UFC. What is this, rook to chokehold, bitch? I actually would watch more chess if there was chokeholds, I'm not gonna lie. But this is how it starts, people. Siri stops listening to you. A chess robot breaks a 7-year-old's finger. Next thing you know, your Roomba is sneaking up behind you with a knife. Prepare to die, humans, prepare to die. Where are you, humans? Prepare to die. Jeopardy has finally chosen its permanent hosts. And no, it's not Steve Harvey, he's too busy doing every other game show. It's actually going to be Mayim Bialik and Ken Jennings. Yeah. That's really, really great for them. Congratulations to my man Ken, or as your grandfather calls them, not Alex Trebek and lady not Alex Trebek. In sports news, the NFL has announced that they're launching their own streaming service, which is fantastic, because I don't know about you guys, but we just don't have enough of them right now, you know? And this app is apparently going to have all of the pre-season games, which is kind of like paying to watch the story part in porn. But I guess that's what some people like. So this is going to be good. In politics news, Mike Pence says he's being treated differently now that he's no longer vice president, and that he had to recently wait 25 minutes for a table at Olive Garden. Yeah. Which sucks, yes, but on the upside, Trump supporters aren't trying to kill him anymore. So I mean, pros and cons. Pros and cons. I will say, it is a little wild to me that Mike Pence even goes to Olive Garden. Like, I think it's dangerous to eat at an Olive Garden when you look so much like a breadstick. Someone like, oh, sorry. And of course, I'm sure you've all heard the sad news. After nearly 40 years, Klondike is discontinuing the Choco Taco. Yeah, it's not me, it's them. I know, it's outrageous. The Choco Taco is the perfect American fusion of cultures, right? It's Mexican and sugar. And how are you gonna get rid of the Choco Taco before getting rid of the popsicle, huh? Nobody likes those. This is dildos that give you brain freeze. Come on. But anyway, let's move on to some of the bigger news stories of the day. And we're gonna start off with the Catholic Church, the world's #1 manufacturer of atheists. The Catholic Church has made many positive contributions to society in the fields of art and science and philosophy. And if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have come up with the smoke machines in the club, you know? But the church has also done some bad things over the last, say, 2,000 years. Which is why, in a really positive development, Pope Francis is seeking absolution for the church's sins.
On his first full day in Canada, Pope Francis delivered a historic apology for the, quote, evil committed by so many Christians against indigenous people.
At the site of a former residential school in the Canadian city of Massachusets, Pope Francis was greeted with sacred drumming and dance, rituals the church once sought to erase for around a century. More than 150,000 Native children were taken from their families to attend government-funded residential schools, most of them run by the Catholic Church. They faced rampant neglect, physical, and sexual abuse while being forced to assimilate. It was here the Pope issued a historic apology.
I am here because the first step of my penitential pilgrimage among you is that of again asking forgiveness.
Man, you know what? Say what you want. I love this Pope. I really do. Yeah, because ever since he's come into office, or into power, or ever since he's gotten the gig, what do they even say? Whatever it is, he's done a really good job of trying to right the Catholic Church's wrongs. You know, he's reached out to other faiths. He said gay people can get into heaven. And don't forget, he added a pop and lock to the sign of the cross. You know, it's just like, oh, me no nos perus, no beru. On top of that, he's apologizing to indigenous people in Canada for the role the Catholic Church played in trying to erase their culture. I'm glad he's doing that. It also must have been a shock to Canadians, you know? Someone coming and apologizing to them. You just be like, I'm sorry? It's like, no, I'm sorry. Oh, sorry? And you know, beyond the Pope, yeah, the Pope is great in all of this, but you know who the heroes of the story are? The indigenous people, yeah. For not just speaking to the Pope, but for forgiving him, even letting him wear their traditional headdress. That was amazing. It was gracious, you know? Unless they were just setting him up for a trap, you know? Just like, we let bygones be bygones, please accept this headdress, snap photo, and you're canceled, motherfucker! We got you! Cultural appropriation! They didn't do that, but it would have been funny. Now, apparently, in addition to the apology, the church has also agreed to pay a settlement for what they did, which I think is fantastic, especially on the tribe for actually insisting on it. You know, because so many people's lives have been destroyed and a generation was thrust into poverty. So sorry is nice, but money goes a long way. Yeah. In fact, you know what? They should put "I'm sorry" in the caption of the Venmo payment. That's what they should do. And not just the church, not just the church. Yeah, I think this should be for everyone. All those governments around the world, you know, who've stolen land from people. Like in Africa, we've seen this all the time, right? England is always like, we're so sorry, we pillaged and plundered your country of all your natural resources. And Africans are like, oh, okay, can we have our diamonds back? And it's like, oh, but they're already in the crown, yeah. Oh, we can't take it out, we can't. A crown without jewels, that's just a hat, oh, yeah. So I'm glad. Do something about it. Oh, and speaking of people who are going to need to apologize for a lot in the future, Vladimir Putin, back in the news. I guess he's never left. Ever since he decided to inherit eastern Ukraine, Russia and the rest of the rest of the West really, have been going through the 21st century's most savage breakup. All right, there's been threats, there's been sanctions, and just today, Russia really escalated tensions by making big cuts to the amount of gas that it will send through its pipelines to Europe. Yeah. Now, they're saying that this is because of mechanical issues. Yeah. But I'm sure this is mechanical issues the same way someone breaks up with you because you deserve better. You know? Yeah. Just be honest and say you can't see a future with someone who wears Crocs to nice restaurants. Debbie! Justin Bieber wears them now. Anyway, on top of all of that, Russia has decided to extend this beef into space.
This just into CNN. Russia says this morning that it is preparing to pull out of the International Space Station. That's a big deal. A space agency official told Vladimir Putin it will leave the ISS, quote, after 2024.
This withdrawal would be a major blow to the ISS, which has served as a model for international cooperation for decades.
Russia says it will start building its own orbiting outpost instead.
Wow. Russia is officially pulling out of the International Space Station, which nobody asked them to do. We said pull out of Ukraine, not the space station. This is a Google Translate issue. What's going on here? And you might not realize this, but this is actually bad news because Russia helps to operate the space station, which I didn't know about. No, what I mean, like, I don't know about you, but am I the only one who's shocked by how many things are connected to Russia in the world? Right? Like the world's energy supply, Africa's food supply, space travel, minerals for our electronics. Soon we're going to find out that Russia provides the sound for sneezes, and without them, we can't complete the action. No chew for you. And by the way, I don't know why they call it an international space station when it doesn't seem very international. It's basically just Russians and Americans up there. There are like 200 other countries in the world. It's not an international space station. Like, how come there are no African countries up there, huh? Why? Because we start playing soccer and accidentally kick the ball through the window and everyone will get sucked into space? I mean, that's a fair point, but still, why? So yeah, the Russians are leaving the space station. And although they think this is pretty cool, good luck to them making a dramatic exit when there's zero gravity.
And so, you better remember, don't mess with Vladimir Putin unless you want to feel the full force of Mother Russia. That's right, you cannot mess with us. Ha ha! Okay, can somebody push me towards the door? Push me. Just push me towards. I want to make dramatic exit. This is not exit I was hoping for. I'm just floating around like idiot right now. Okay, imagine you're crying and I'm gone, bitch. Imagine the pain. Imagine the pain.
Back when Joe Biden was elected, one of his biggest promises was the Build Back Better bill, a plan that promised to make everything in America better. That's why the better was in the name. Yeah, it was going to rebuild the roads, fix the climate, reduce inequality, and it was even going to give you another shot with your high school crush. Yeah, like this time I won't eat prunes before assembly. Now, all of that depended on getting every Democrat's vote in the Senate. But there was always one senator who refused to play ball, Joe Manchin, West Virginia senator and man who definitely has a photo on the fridge of him holding a fish. No matter what the Democrats offered him, Joe Manchin was blocking all attempts, like an Appalachian Mutombo. No, y'all. And so it seemed that Joe Biden's agenda, very much like Joe Biden himself, was basically dead. But then last night, this happened.
New tonight, Democratic Senators Joe Manchin and Chuck Schumer announcing a deal on a bill that was all but dead.
You almost never see this in Washington. You never see Washington surprised like it is this morning. Democratic Senator Joe Manchin announced he has struck a deal with Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. This is a major piece of legislation that they say would pay down the national debt, cut health care costs, fight climate change, and battle inflation.
It is the product of secret negotiations over a package that until yesterday appeared to be dead.
2 weeks after walking away from a climate deal, West Virginia Democrat Joe Manchin embraced one last night with a compromise dubbed the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022.
I can't believe it. Joe Manchin agreed to vote for a bill? Which means Democrats might actually get something done? Am I dreaming? And if so, what a boring dream. And also, what a week for Joe Biden, huh? First he defeated COVID, then he defeated low expectations. Look at you, Joe! Look at you! But yeah, in a surprise announcement, Joe Manchin released a statement saying that he is on board with Build Back Better, except he's calling it the Inflation Reduction Act. Yeah, and I'll be honest, I don't think anyone cares what it's called as long as it's a good bill. You know, he can call it the everyone except Joe Manchin's got a small dick act, and I don't care. I'll just be like, well, at least my dick's going to see a better climate. But I think this has taught us all an important lesson. Everyone was so mad at Joe Manchin, calling him names, letting their anger take over, writing him off as a villain. And it worked. Nice job, everyone. Nice work. Yeah? It worked. Now, just to be clear, this bill isn't everything that Joe Biden once wanted, but it's still a pretty big deal, right? It lowers prescription drug prices. It forces big corporations to pay the taxes that they owe. But maybe the most important part of the bill is what it does to fight climate change.
This would be the largest U.S. climate change legislation ever.
The centerpiece, about $370 billion worth of clean energy tax incentives and grants, including $7,500 tax credits for many Americans who buy electric cars.
It's going to try to reduce carbon emissions by 40% by 2030. This was something that many Senate Democrats simply did not think would be included in any sort of legislation they could get through.
But it's not all green energy. In a win for Joe Manchin, the bill also opens millions of acres of public land for new oil and gas production.
Yeah, that's right. Tons of money to fight climate change, but also some fossil fuel stuff too. You know, just to keep Mother Nature on her toes. But overall, this is a huge investment in alternative forms of energy. Wind, solar, and they're even going to be researching new forms of energy. Nobody knows what it could be. Yeah, in 10 years, we could be charging our phones with the power of dance. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, 7%, keep going. Okay, yeah, I got this. Hey, 10%, hey. I'm going to charge all our devices. I'm just thinking, you know what's funny is that if that does happen, some white people are going to be uncharging their phones. People will be like, what's happening? Wait, why am I losing power? What's going on here? I'm dancing. What's going on? What's happening here? What's happening? But hey, this is a huge win for the Democrats. And now, obviously, please remember, this is the Democratic Party, so there is still plenty of ways for this thing to fall apart, you know? Yeah, House Democrats could come out against it. Kirsten Sinema could come out against it. Joe Manchin could come out tomorrow and oppose the bill just out of habit. But if it does get through, this could be the legislative victory that the Democrats need to ride into the midterms and only lose the House by 200 seats. I believe in you, Democrats! Before we go, please consider supporting Respectability, an organization that works to create systemic change in how society views and values people with disabilities. If you want to help them lobby for better policies and train organizations to empower people with disabilities, then please donate at the link below.